Howdy! Alright, this video is on my opinions and thoughts about buying amps. If you guys don't want to take my help, just leave the message or leave the video. I don't need to see the comments. Anyway, my thoughts on buying amps and tube amps. It's kind of, you get what you paid for. If there was any advice that I can give you guys, especially the young ones that are just now buying, we've all done it. You buy the amps that look all nice and flashy, and then turns out it breaks within a year or 2 years, and then it's worth completely nothing. Not all of us have done that. Luckily, I've been fortunate, and it did not happen to me because I did enough research and I had people tell me, and I was very careful with spending my money. But some of my friends actually have bought amps. If you're gonna buy a cheap amp, I would just make sure it's solid state, hence the word solid, because it's more solid than a cheap tube amp. Any cheap tube amp, I mean, there's tons and tons more things to go wrong, and that's just not good. And especially if you're gonna put expensive tubes in a partially expensive tube head, it's not gonna sound as good because it's still cheap parts inside of it. So no matter what tubes you put in it, it's just not gonna hit what you want. Like, for instance, my buddy bought this. This is a Bugera 333 XL, and basically it sounds great. Don't get me wrong, for a tube head, I mean, it's killer. These two inputs are completely fucked up, and when I mean fucked up is you put it in and you have to wiggle your cable to get any tone, and it crackles and pops. And I took it out and looked at it, and turns out, I mean, you guys have to realize everything nowadays is made cheaper to go faster because there's more people, I guess. Back in the day, everything used to be really, like, each one of these were individual pots and you can just unsolder and everything. Now, this is all one big, like, computer chip. You take it out, and basically, I couldn't even take this out without tearing the entire thing apart. So basically, what they're saying is once when one thing breaks on this head, it's screwed, throw it away. It's not worth anything. They're now, like, he's going to come over and collect the tubes in it because it's not worth anything now. I mean, it's worth, you know, the cheap wood that it's made out of. I don't even know what it's made out of. Probably particle board. But, it's all an illusion kind of thing. Like, look how nice this amp looks. This amp looks really nice, you know? But it's, they put the parts in it to make it look all badass, and it's not worth it. And I've had like a Marshall solid state. Okay, that's a perfect good name brand. So of course, you know, Bugera's like, they're kind of underground, and they probably will always stay underground. But like, say for instance, like if Marshall sold cheap amps and they always broke, that's a really, really bad name for Marshall, and they wouldn't be that great of a name now. It's kind of, you get what you paid for. Marshall's not the best amp, but it's a lot like, you know, fast food restaurants where, you know what you're gonna get. And just like Boss pedals, I said in my other video, they're not the best, but they're solid, and they have, you know, their manufacturers actually have your back. Bugera, they don't give a shit. I'm not trying to down them. They are a really good sound, but that's why I went with a PV6505 instead of the Bugera 634 or whatever, with the one that's trying to sound like PV6505, because I rather get backed by some. I mean, was Eddie Van Halen ever sponsored by Bugera? No, he was sponsored by PV, and then went to Fender. So it's kind of, I mean, I'm just trying to help you guys, you know, open your minds up to, you know, either buy a cheap solid state and be happy with that and actually have it last a long time, if not a lifetime, or buy a really, I mean, not expensive, you don't have to go $4 grand or something crazy. Just go, I mean, it depends. I mean, like, I have a Bogner Alchemist head, and that's made from line 6, and it's about, they're $1,200, $300 new, and that's a really good head. But it's just everything about it. Even turning the knobs, they're just better. I do have amps made in China. Actually, for instance, I use it for a mic or a camera stand. My little orange tiny tear. This is only 150 bucks. So if this breaks, I mean, it's broken. It's not worth anything. There's one tube in it. That's not even worth, you know, any money when it's used. So I mean, I have come to realization this will break on me sometime. You know, you never know. I mean, the USA ones can break, but I mean, if I, for instance, my Mesa broke, they would fix it. I mean, I'd probably pay shipping and all that, but they would. If I had the, you know, the stuff to say, hey, I bought this brand new from you guys, you know, you have your 5-year warranty, but I mean, even Crybaby pedals, mine broke within a year, and I told them that. It was actually, I think, 2 or 3 years. No, 2 years. And I told them, and my warranty was actually expired. Yeah, it was expired, and I called them, and they actually, I believe, paid for everything. I think I had to pay the shipping one time, but they sent it back and it worked perfectly fine. Now Dunloop, I mean, that's an actual brand. If I would have got the Underground Crybabies wah wah pedals, they break and nobody even answers the phone whenever you need help. So I mean, I'm just trying to help you guys. I'm not trying to bash on amps, but I mean, if it makes you a smarter buyer. But like a Marshall MG, I go with the older model, because this is, you know, it's less digital stuff in it. I don't want all the buttons with all the crazy lights. It's just more to break. You guys got to think of it like old cars. My dad has an old car, 1957 and 1969. And for instance, all your guys' car windows are digital, right? How many times do you know people actually have to replace them before their car's completely shitted? Maybe once or twice, because they start slowing down, and people want, you know, sometimes they get stuck. Well, my dad's cars, they were, you know, you roll them down. He's never had a problem with them. So I hope this video helped you guys. Just be careful with what you buy and make sure you get your money's worth, so you don't get screwed over like my friend, because I mean, he spent probably maybe $600 for this new, and now it's worth completely nothing. I mean, it's just, it sucks and it's really sad, but that's how the world works, I guess. So anyway, if you have any questions, you can always message below, and hopefully someone else will answer them, because I'm always busy. But yeah, anyway, you can subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna do gear reviews, and yeah, see ya.